Hey Queens, get ready for the hottest scoop in the entertainment world, because the news cycle is moving faster than a speeding bullet, and we've got the updates you absolutely cannot miss. First up, a major DC shakeup that almost rewrote cinematic history. Then, we're diving deep into the status of a fan-favorite character's return. Plus, another angle on that surprising character swap that has everyone talking. And finally, a look at a classic villain who almost made an earlier appearance. Stick around, because you won't want to miss a single second. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're always in the know. A villainous switch-up revealed. Did you know that a cornerstone of the Batman universe was almost slated for a different blockbuster debut? The landscape of DC cinematic adaptations is a constantly shifting terrain, with projects undergoing significant transformations from their initial concepts. While the Snyderverse era has concluded, its impact and the performances within it continue to be discussed. Among the standout characters from this period, Margot Robbie's portrayal of Harley Quinn garnered widespread acclaim, solidifying her as a fan favorite. Robbie first embodied the iconic jester-turned-antihero in 2016's Suicide Squad, a performance that, despite the film's mixed reception, was widely praised. Her solo venture, Birds of Prey, and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn arrived in 2020, positioning Harley Quinn at the center of a narrative involving the ruthless crime boss Black Mask, played by Ewan McGregor. The film, which also featured Jurnee Smollett as Black Canary, Mary Elizabeth Winstead as the Huntress, and Rosie Perez as Renee Montoya, was one of the last major releases before the COVID-19 pandemic significantly altered the film industry. Despite its star power and vibrant aesthetic, Birds of Prey achieved a worldwide gross of approximately $200 million, falling short of expectations. Robbie later reprised her role as Harley Quinn in 2021's The Suicide Squad, a film helmed by James Gunn, who has since taken the reins of DC Studios. While The Suicide Squad received generally positive reviews, some commentary pointed to the character of Black Mask as a less impactful antagonist. It now emerges that Black Mask was not the original choice for the film's primary antagonist. During a joint interview with Entertainment Weekly, where Robbie promoted her new film A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey alongside co-star Colin Farrell, a surprising revelation came to light. Farrell, who himself portrayed Oswald Cobblepot, also known as the Penguin, in Matt Reeves' The Batman and its subsequent HBO series, The Penguin, discussed his connection to DC villains. The two actors realized they had never discussed their shared universe involvement, which struck them as peculiar given their respective roles. Farrell noted that it made sense, acknowledging that the Batman films exist within a separate continuity from the main DCEU films. It was at this point that Robbie shared a significant piece of information. The first draft that Christina Hodson wrote of Birds of Prey, the villain was the Penguin. Farrell's surprise was evident, prompting Robbie to elaborate, and then director/writer Matt Reeves said, "Don't use the Penguin, I'm going to use him in my thing," and so we swapped it to Black Mask. Robbie further commented on Hodson's original take on the Penguin, describing it as amazing and even offering Farrell a chance to read the original script, which she had saved. This revelation sheds new light on the film's development, as it was known that Birds of Prey underwent several script revisions, but the specific detail of Reeves requesting the removal of the Penguin is a novel insight. Many believe the Penguin would have been a fitting choice for the mobster role in Birds of Prey, given his established criminal background in the comics. However, Black Mask, while perhaps less universally recognized than the Penguin, is a formidable Batman villain who translates effectively to live action. His character also allowed for a more definitive conclusion within the narrative of Birds of Prey, and Ewan McGregor's performance was well received. It is speculated that Matt Reeves' decision stemmed from his fondness for the Penguin character and a desire to preserve his impact for his own Batman cinematic universe, potentially fearing that an earlier appearance in Birds of Prey might diminish his significance. There is speculation that Hodson's initial concept for the Penguin might have aligned more closely with the classic comic book iteration, complete with signature trick umbrellas, rather than the more grounded criminal portrayal seen in Reeves' film. As for Robbie's future as Harley Quinn within the new DC universe spearheaded by James Gunn, her involvement remains uncertain. However, the possibility of her return is a topic of much hope among fans. Regardless of future casting decisions, the near miss of the Penguin appearing in Birds of Prey offers an intriguing glimpse into the alternate paths cinematic universes can take, imagining a potentially wilder adventure for Harley and her team. Hold on tight, because this story about character casting is just the beginning of our deep dive into the DC Universe's evolving plans. Next, we're getting an official update on another beloved character's potential comeback. Harley Quinn's DCU future, an update from Margot Robbie. As the DC Extended Universe transitions into the new DC Universe under the leadership of James Gunn and Peter Safran, the status of many established characters and their potential inclusion in the revamped continuity remains a significant point of interest for fans. While some actors have confirmed their return or expressed enthusiasm for reprising their roles, others are still awaiting clarity. John Cena, who portrayed Peacemaker in the Suicide Squad and his own spin-off series, has made the transition to the new DCU. However, the situation for his co-star, Margot Robbie, and her iconic portrayal of Harley Quinn is less defined. Margot Robbie has been a standout performer within the DCEU, with her interpretation of the complex and captivating Harley Quinn resonating deeply with audiences. Her initial appearance in 2016's Suicide Squad, though the film itself received a mixed critical reception, highlighted Robbie's talent and her unique take on the character. This led to her headlining the 2020 spin-off Birds of Prey, which focused on Harley Quinn's adventures with a team of formidable women. Subsequently, she returned as a co-lead in James Gunn's 2021 film, The Suicide Squad. With Gunn now co-heading DC Studios, his influence on the future direction of DC characters is substantial. While Gunn has actively worked to integrate certain characters and narrative elements from the Suicide Squad and its spin-off, Peacemaker, into the broader DCU canon, the specific plans for Robbie's Harley Quinn have not yet been solidified. In a recent interview with Variety, Robbie addressed the speculation surrounding her potential return, stating candidly, "I have heard nothing from DC regarding future appearances as the character." This suggests that as of her statement, no concrete discussions or offers have been made for her to reprise the role in the new DCU. When questioned about whether she ever grew tired of playing Harley Quinn, Robbie expressed a strong, unwavering affection for the character. "Never, you can't get sick of Harley. I love her so deeply," she remarked. She further elaborated on her long-term hopes for the character, drawing a parallel to Batman. "I always had high hopes for her like Batman, a character that loves on long after I've had a go at it." This sentiment indicates her personal desire for Harley Quinn to continue existing and evolving within the DC universe, even beyond her own involvement. Interestingly, despite her deep connection to the role, Robbie also conveyed an openness to the idea of another actor taking on the mantle of Harley Quinn in the future. "I feel like I need to share Harley," she admitted, suggesting a willingness to pass the torch or allow the character to be interpreted by different performers, ensuring her longevity. Robbie's comments arrive shortly after James Gunn himself addressed her potential involvement. Speaking to Entertainment Weekly, Gunn stated that the question of whether Robbie would play Harley Quinn in the DCU will be revealed down the line. Currently, the Batman corner of the DCU is still in its nascent stages, with Gunn's immediate focus reportedly on the Superman saga. However, development is underway for projects like a Clayface spin-off movie and a solo Batman film titled The Brave and the Bold. It's important to note that the new DCU's primary Batman is not expected to be introduced until after Matt Reeves concludes his separate, The Batman Epic Crime Saga, with The Batman Part II. Robbie's latest film, A Big Bold Beautiful Journey, is slated for release on September 19, 2025. The uncertainty surrounding Harley Quinn's future leaves fans eager for any official announcements from DC Studios. This update on Harley Quinn's status leaves us with plenty to ponder about the future of DC characters. Now, let's revisit that surprising villain swap with a different perspective. Reeves' Penguin, poaching from Birds of Prey revealed. In a candid revelation that offers a fascinating glimpse into the intricate development process of DC films, Margot Robbie, the acclaimed actress behind Harley Quinn, has shared how director Matt Reeves effectively poached the iconic Batman villain, the Penguin, from an earlier draft of the Birds of Prey script. This behind-the-scenes maneuver significantly altered the antagonist landscape for the 2020 film, which ultimately featured Ewan McGregor as Black Mask. Robbie made these remarks during a joint interview with Entertainment Weekly, alongside her co-star in the upcoming film A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, Colin Farrell. Coincidentally, Farrell is the actor who brings the Penguin, or Oswald Cobblepot, to life in Matt Reeves' critically successful 2022 film, The Batman, and its subsequent Emmy-nominated HBO series, The Penguin. The conversation between Robbie and Farrell, which touched upon their shared connection to DC characters, unveiled this surprising piece of casting history. Robbie disclosed that the initial script for Birds of Prey, penned by Christina Hodson, had the Penguin slated to be the film's primary antagonist. The first draft that Christina wrote of Birds of Prey, the villain was the Penguin, Robbie stated, a revelation that reportedly elicited visible shock from Farrell. She went on to explain the intervention from Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves said, "Don't use the Penguin. I'm going to use him in my thing," compelling the Birds of Prey creative team to pivot to Black Mask. This decision meant that Ewan McGregor would ultimately portray the villain. Robbie further elaborated on Hodson's original vision for the Penguin, describing it as amazing. She even mentioned that she still possesses a copy of the original script on her computer, a detail that sparked Farrell's interest, who expressed a desire to read it, calling it so fascinating. This exchange highlights a potential what-if scenario for DC fans, imagining a different dynamic between Harley Quinn and the Penguin. While the two characters might not have crossed paths in the Birds of Prey film as originally conceived, the Penguin is confirmed to return in Reeves' highly anticipated sequel, The Batman, Part II. The film is slated to commence production in the spring of 2026, ensuring the character's prominent role in Reeves' distinct Gotham universe. Meanwhile, Harley Quinn's future within James Gunn's revamped DC universe remains ambiguous. Gunn himself has previously hinted that any potential involvement from Robbie in the new DCU will be revealed down the line. This leaves the door open for a potential future encounter between Harley Quinn and the Penguin, perhaps in a different iteration or context within the broader DC multiverse. The revelation underscores the fluid nature of film development, where creative decisions and strategic character placements can lead to significant shifts in project direction. The story of the Penguin being moved from Birds of Prey to the Batman serves as a prime example of how different creative visions within a shared universe can impact individual film narratives. This behind-the-scenes look at DC's casting decisions is quite revealing. Now, let's see how another outlet covered this near miss for a classic villain's appearance. Birds of Prey's villain, almost a Penguin takeover. In a fascinating revelation that offers a peek behind the curtain of Hollywood's creative process, Margot Robbie, the star and producer of the 2020 film Birds of Prey, has disclosed that the movie's central antagonist was initially intended to be the iconic Batman villain, the Penguin. This significant alteration to the film's villain roster occurred when director Matt Reeves expressed his intention to use the character in his own upcoming Batman project. Robbie shared this detail during a recent interview with Entertainment Weekly, where she appeared alongside her co-star from A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, Colin Farrell. Notably, Farrell is the actor who portrays the Penguin, Oswald Cobblepot, in Matt Reeves' critically acclaimed 2022 film, The Batman, as well as in the popular HBO spin-off series, The Penguin. The joint interview provided an opportunity for the two actors to discuss their shared experiences within the DC universe. According to Robbie, the initial script for Birds of Prey, developed by writer Christina Hodson, featured the Penguin as the main villain. The first draft that Christina wrote of Birds of Prey, the villain was the Penguin, Robbie explained. She then recounted the pivotal moment when Matt Reeves intervened. And then Matt Reeves said, "Don't use the Penguin. I'm going to use him in my thing, the Batman." And so we swapped it to Black Mask. This directive led to Ewan McGregor being cast as Black Mask for the film. Robbie also commented on the quality of the early script, describing the version of the Penguin that was cut from the film as amazing. The conversation with Farrell highlighted a shared curiosity about this alternate storyline, with Farrell admitting he would love to read the early draft featuring the Gotham City crime lord. The two actors acknowledged the unusual nature of their shared connection to DC characters without having previously discussed such details. Released in 2020, Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn followed Harley Quinn as she navigated life after her breakup with the Joker, making her a target for various enemies in Gotham City's criminal underworld. The film saw her teaming up with a group of unlikely allies to confront the ruthless crime boss Black Mask, portrayed by Ewan McGregor. Robbie's own future as Harley Quinn in the evolving DC landscape remains uncertain following her last appearance in the 2021 film The Suicide Squad, which predates the current DCU restructuring. However, James Gunn, the co-head of DC Studios, recently hinted that Robbie's potential role in the new DCU will be revealed down the line. Meanwhile, Farrell's Penguin is set to make a comeback in the Batman Part II, with filming scheduled to begin in the spring of 2026. As for the HBO series The Penguin, its future is less clear, as it was originally billed as a limited series, making a second season unlikely. This narrative twist illustrates the dynamic nature of film production, where character assignments and creative visions can lead to significant changes in the final product, offering a fascinating alternative path for the Birds of Prey storyline. This detailed look at the Birds of Prey villain swap provides some great context. Now, for our final story, we're checking in on the future of a beloved character's return to the DC universe. That's all the buzz for today, Queens. We heard about a massive villain swap that almost changed Birds of Prey, got the latest on Harley Quinn's potential DCU return, and double-checked the details on that Penguin switcheroo. Plus, we looked at that classic villain's almost earlier big-screen debut. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe for all the hottest entertainment news, ring that notification bell so you never miss an update, drop a comment with your thoughts on these stories, and follow us on all socials to stay connected. We'll see you next time.